When you think pop art, you'd likely think of people like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring, the latter of whom, along with Robert Rauschenberg, inspired my previous super serious art project. This time, however, I'd like to highlight a different artist. One who lived in relative obscurity, one whose life invites intrigue, fascination, and perhaps admiration. This video is inspired by Ray Johnson, a strange man who lived a beautiful life. We start with the most important part of our message in a bottle project, the message. Now, there are several ways to go about creating a message. You can think about what to write while running, while crying, while eating breakfast, while taking a shower and reciting every roast you should have used back when you and Becky were still on talking terms. Now, I get it. The hardest part of creating any letter is starting the letter, which is why I've made a list of words that every first sentence of a deep and philosophical conversation probably has. Now, we're just gonna roll a 20-sided dice, and we're just gonna keep doing that until we get our first sentence. The next important part is the bottle. Now, I thought I could just use mason jars from how much Regretti spaghetti I've been consuming lately, but I thought I should use something more utilitarian, so instead I've opted to use a bunch of hot sauce bottles. And then we just put the message in the bottle, and now all that's left to do is to send them out. His name was Ray Johnson. I'd never met him, but I'd like to think of him as my hero. He had a unique perspective on life, to live as if living itself were art. So for this piece, I'm sending out some messages in a bottle. But because I didn't want to litter the ocean, instead, I thought I could bury some bottles at places that had significant memories to me. Friends I lost, breakups that happened, restaurants I frequented that had closed down. The one thing I want in my life is to live beautifully. I don't necessarily want to be good, nor do I want to be perfect. If at the end of my life I can tell myself that the atoms and molecules that composed who I was worthwhile, that I was a worthwhile chemical composition for a small, insignificant blip on history, then that's good enough for me. Ray Johnson, by all accounts, was a beautiful person. He was well liked and had many friends. But the sad part is that he decided, at some point, to end it all. He drowned himself in a river. And as much as I admire Ray Johnson, I don't want to be like that. So this is a reminder to myself and to each of you. You'll be okay. You're gonna make it. You are valid, you are wonderful, and you can be beautiful too.